Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters, this is your forecast first from KARK4, your weather authority.
It was the downpour many say they did not see coming. Powerful storms ripping through the natural state last night. How many neighbors are dealing with that damage left behind? Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6 on KARK. I'm Shannon Miller. Homes and buildings destroyed and several injured as that line of storms pushed through late last night. The National Weather Service confirming an EF2 tornado touched down near the Faulkner-Pulaski County line. That's near Cato, Arkansas. Thousands still without power here at this hour. We'll be taking a live look at the storm coverage, but first let's get you to KARK's meteorologist Hayden Nix, of course. And Hayden, anything else that we can expect into tonight?
Rest easy tonight. We are looking at quiet conditions setting up for the next 12 hours across the natural state. You can already see that system is departing, lifting off towards the northeast. That's a loop of last night as those lines of showers and thunderstorms, some strong to severe, worked its way through Arkansas, finally departing the natural state around 3 o'clock in the morning. And then you can see that core of that low pressure system working its way through northwestern Arkansas, now lifting into Missouri. We did have several storm reports, as Shannon, you just mentioned. We had a lot of that happening in Little Rock, and most of this was just damaging wind events, but we had that one that was confirmed as an EF2 tornado. Through the day today, temperatures have been able to warm back into the 70s. We've dropped down to 64 here in Little Rock, 47 in Fayetteville, because of where that low pressure system was pushing across. But as I mentioned, we're going to rest easy tonight because we've got clear conditions setting up. 62 by 8 o'clock, 59 by 10 p.m., upper 50s by midnight tonight. But as we are getting into springtime, we are already tracking another chance for some thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
We look forward to that, Hayden. Thanks so much. Of course, everything from downed trees to damaged homes being seen in the aftermath of last night's storms. KARK's Mitch McCoy joining us now live from North Pulaski County with a look at the damage there. Mitch.
Shannon, the recovery efforts underway off of Low Ridge Road. We're near Cato. We're right on the Pulaski-Faulkner County line, and volunteers have started 2 burn pits here where they're just starting to burn some of the debris so they can try and get things back to normal here in this mobile home park. Multiple mobile homes were destroyed during this EF2 tornado. This is a mobile home that you're seeing right now where crews are starting to pick up some of that debris. I'm told that a woman was trapped, a pregnant woman was trapped inside of her home here, and heroes came out to try and save her, and she is at the hospital right now recovering. She may be home later this afternoon. Another mobile home was damaged, and you can just see a lot of the volunteers coming out, making these burn pits to try and get things back to normal, and they're cleaning up just some of the debris that they found in some of these mobile homes, and they're starting to pick up trees like this. So a major recovery effort underway here, along with trying to figure out what to do with this mobile home that is completely snapped in half from a tree. Reporting live near Cato, Mitch McCoy, KARK4 News.
Mitch, thanks. And when you see that damage, of course, we are glad to know that no one was seriously hurt there. Our coverage now continues in West Pulaski County, where we are seeing some significant damage there. KARK4's Isabella Muller joining us now from the Pinnacle area, where, Isabella, a house practically had the second floor ripped off of that home there.
Yeah, Shannon, exactly. We're in Pinnacle Valley, where you said I want to take you right to this home. You can see the top corner of this home was ripped apart right around 10:30 last night is what they're saying. This is where the woman's 16-year-old son, that's his bedroom right there. Now all that's left are some dumbbells you can see, but otherwise he was not in the room at the time, thank goodness. But that whole area has been destroyed. Take a look at their yard too. I mean, you can see a ton of stuff being salvaged. You've got their furniture out in the yard right now that neighbors have been trying to clean up. One neighbor was telling me earlier that he heard something. He looked at his outside of his front door, and take a listen to what he heard.
The beams on the front porch out, and that's what I saw in the front door, where those beams on this side just stripped them right out and shot them like a cannon.
And those beams clearly right there on the porch, they're gone. Neighbors and the community have been out here all day helping since about 6 o'clock this morning. They're saying that about 70 people have been out here at this home trying to help in any way possible. We've seen people bring them food, from pizza to drinks, and people are just trying to bring as much they can into these pods, into storage and into neighbors' homes right now to salvage anything that they can. Tonight at 10, you'll hear from those neighbors and some of those helping earlier today to help this family get back on their feet. We're live in Little Rock. Isabella Moeller, KARK4 News. Back to you.
Isabella, thanks. And we learned from some of those neighbors that actually those homes in that neighborhood, some of them not even touched, just goes to show how these storms actually come down. In Garland County, National Weather Service crews surveying damage in Lonsdale to determine if a tornado or straight line winds were responsible for damage there in that community. Authorities say around 40 structures were damaged when the storm moved through around 10 last night. The storm downed trees and power lines and damaged homes along 10 Mile Road. Responders say many people were shook up, but there were no reports of injuries. And continuing storm coverage now in White County, where several people were without power earlier today. KARK's Charmaine Nero is speaking with one family whose cars were totaled in those storms after massive trees fell right on top of them. Charmaine.
That's exactly right, Shannon. Driving through the city, you can see several signs falling over and trees down. But for one family, the storm hit just a little too close to home.
It's my little sister's car, and she was really proud of it.
Jaya Cowell says her family was sleeping peacefully when storms hit their Baldknop home.
Well, it was kind of crazy. Last night, we were all asleep.
But the peace didn't last for too long.
We didn't hear any sirens or anything. My mom calls me, and she's like, I think I need to get up. It's kind of windy and stuff out here, kind of raining.
Before she could hang up the phone,
there's a huge crash, and she's like, oh my God, I think something hit my car.
That something was a huge tree out front of her grandparents' house, crashing down on one of the family's cars.
I come outside, and sure enough, it wasn't her car. Her car did get hit a little bit, but mainly this big tree fell on my little sister's car.
But the storm didn't just strike the Cowell family house. Throughout the city, you can see billboards ripped apart and energy crews fixing damaged power lines in the city. While Cowell says no damage was done to her family's house.
I was afraid it had fallen on the house or something. That's my Nana and my grandpa's house, so I was afraid it had fallen in and hurt somebody.
She's grateful her family wasn't hurt during the storm.
So I'm glad it was just the car. I hate that we lost the car, but it could have been worse.
Now, driving through, you can also see many community members in church groups also out helping to clean up this damage. As of 6 p.m., there were still about 200 homes without power. Entergy says they hope to have it all restored by tomorrow afternoon. Shannon, back to you.
We're glad to